But yeah, nobody expects to really be taken care of, and if they do, then to me that's a whole different level of codependency. Like, there's a healthy codependent part of things. I have books on codependency, and it's like, yes, there are parts where they're really toxic, but there's so many things that are toxic with other things too. Like, I want to fix things. If something is wrong, and I feel like I did something that ruined, like that put someone else in a weird mood or put them outside their place, and it was me who did it, I automatically want to fix it. Not because I'm trying to be toxic, but because that's the way my mind works. These labels that we all have all the time, it's like you want to, there is an in between. Have all my life, it's like a black and white thing, but I'm starting to be better about like, there's everything kind of umbrellas each other. And see, I'm not good with the articulation part yet. So anyways, before I get off track again, I got taken away from another family, where I felt loved for the first time, actually. And this was back when I was, I don't know, I got taken away. I went through foster care at the age of 11, 12. I remember thinking like, oh, I'm almost old enough to be able to emancipate myself, but things were just so bad. Like, my mom had left that abusive guy I was talking about earlier, and she thought she could do it by herself with 3 kids. And honestly, he made the money. He was working for an air conditioning company. We had a nice place to go. It's just he knew he had that control, and he abused it in very many disgusting ways. Like, treated me like crap. There was sexual abuse. There was stuff that I haven't been able to admit about because it's shameful to even talk about, because how am I supposed to get anybody at my level when nobody understands me this whole entire time in the first place? I haven't had a chance to sit down and like talk about it to anybody. It's always judgments, and I try not to judge. Like, I figured if I don't judge other people, maybe they'll give me the chance and not judge me right away, but it's never been that way. And that's where I feel like we just need to change things. But yeah, we ended up getting a place back in Michigan. It was in Detroit, and it wasn't a safe place. She was gone for days sometimes. The apartment was disgusting. I had to stay home from school a couple times because I was living with Brandon and Shania, which were my brother and sister, and I didn't know how to do laundry. Like, I did laundry for the first time then, and I didn't know to put soap in it. I had to beg for quarters from around my other. We were in an apartment complex, but I was friends with the other people they were helping me. Like, they let me come over when Brandon and Shania were at school and my mom was nowhere near to be found. I'd go over and play video games upstairs. There's a different lady I'd go sit down with, and we'd watch the only few channels that she got because she was struggling too. We'd sit there and eat bread on the floor with no furniture, like hanging out. That's just, we help each other. That's the way it's supposed to be. People need to know these stories, and there are people that have it way worse than I do. Don't get me wrong on that one. And I'm not trying to compare one up to anybody else, but I can share my experiences, and then other people can relate to them and maybe have something more to share and add to it. That's the only way we're going to be able to get things working again. They're doing a lot of house construction, so I apologize. So yeah, with her being gone and me trying, like, I had a neighbor. I look back now and I'm like, this neighbor actually, they took me to Six Flags. I think they knew that the situation was messed up and didn't know what to do about it. But after my mom had left that jerk, which was Brandon and Shania's, my sister, half brother and sister, dad, we went to that apartment and it just fell apart from there. I couldn't do laundry. I'm sure a lot of kids didn't like me because when I did go to school or I tried to get myself to go, I probably stank. You couldn't even see the floors in the apartment. Like, the walls were yellow. My mom would invite people over all the time, and like they'd sit there and just saturate the couch with their BO, and they'd sit there and drink, so it would be BO and alcohol smelling. And then they'd smoke cigarettes inside the house, which went up into the ceiling, which made everything yellow. And on top of that, you couldn't see the carpet. There was just so much garbage and clothes, and like, it was embarrassing. And it got to the point to where I was afraid to even ask for help because that's shameful. Like, to me it is. Even as a kid, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, all I can do is, like, at least Brandon and Shania can go to school. And then I tried to do all that. It was too much for me as a kid. So, and I got bullied a lot too. Like, people wouldn't let me sit on the bus with them. I had a really nice bus driver that saved a spot for me. She, right behind her, where she was driving, and she'd bring me books and stuff. Like, there's angels out there. Get me, like, seriously. I could sit here and complain and be the victim all day, but there's good things. And it took me a while, even just recently, to realize that there were more good things than I thought. When we going through so many crises and never have a chance to relax, all you focus on is the crises. You don't focus on the good things until you get a chance to sit down and be like, wow, there was good things there. I just didn't look at it back then because all the bad things outweighed the good things. So, like I said before, I'll get off track, but I'm gonna get back on track here. But yeah, the department was disgusting, and I mean, at least Brandon and I got a chance to go to school. They'd sneak out at night and stuff. It scared me because the neighborhood we lived in was not safe at all. Like, I'm talking Detroit, because we were in Michigan. We were on the line between Michigan and Ohio. Yes, I was trying to stay in Bedford school districts, and that was the closest I could, but I couldn't take the buses because the buses didn't go over the line, so I had to, like, ride bikes and stuff. Sometimes I would have to walk over the line, which is not that far, and they'd give me a ride, but I'd rather just walk or take a bike because nobody ever wanted me on the bus anyways. Like, I was that kid that I had to eat my lunches in a bathroom stall. That's shameful. This is my first time talking about this, like, talking to my counselor about it and actually saying it out loud. It does sound sad, but what am I going to do? Like, complain about it? All we can do is make sure it doesn't happen again. Nobody else deserves to go through that feeling. Like, it's not a good feeling. On top of feeling that nobody's there to help you. We lived in that apartment for a while before someone did help. But guess who came through and helped us? It was the guy that my mom had initially gotten away from. The very abusive, like, played mind games, like, made me pick out what he was going to whip me with that day and make me wait all day, and the anticipation, and remind me, oh, I'm getting you. It's a lot. He was a jerk. But he was the only one that was willing to help. But the thing was, he was more focused on trying to get back at my mom for leaving him, that he didn't care. Like, it was going to hurt her. And that's cool, but you're not doing what you're doing for the right reasons. And, like, the last week, like, we were at the apartment, I didn't even see my mom. Like, I don't know where she was. Like, she disappeared. Gil came in and picked us up and CPS, and I don't know, even as a young kid, I was always in and out of courthouses. Like, I don't remember playgrounds. I remember courthouses, the smell of courthouses, scary people being in handcuffs. Like, it's not anything a kid should go through. Or anybody, period, to be honest. No matter what level of life they're at. We say level here, it's not age. But I really do think when asking someone's age is probably, to me, it's a rude thing. It's like, you don't ask them unless you absolutely need to know their age. There's no reason why anybody should know. Off track, because I'll keep doing that. Anyways, so yeah, he ended up taking pictures of the apartment. I had to let him in, which I just recently was able to talk about because I felt shameful about that, but I was scared and I didn't know what to do. All right, give me one more second.